Concise. Concise.
Concise.
but concise. Unless it is a technical or academic resume,
Unless it is
Technical.
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 Technical. Or assignment.
Academic.
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 Academic. Resume. Where 4 to 5 pages are
Acceptable.
acceptable.
where 4 to 5 pages are acceptable, you should try to fit
You
your
should try to
details
fit your details on about 2-3 pages.
on about 2 to 3 pages. Don't print on both sides.
Don't print on the both side. Don't print on both sides. Use
Separate.
separate sheets and put your name in the footer.
Use separate sheets and put your name in the footer.
In the
Be
footer.
positive and
Be positive and honest in your
Descriptions.
很小
Descriptions.
descriptions.妈蛋！我的直播读英文。
Descriptions.
Descriptions.
honest in your descriptions. The highest qualification is mentioned first. The upper middle part of the first page. The highest qualification.
The highest
Qualification.
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 Qualification
is mentioned.
is mentioned.
Mentioned.
Mentioned first.
First, the upper middle part of the
The
first
upper
page.
middle part of the first page is the spot that people tend to focus on.
Is the spot that people tend to focus on. Try to place
Try to place information there.
important information there.
There.
Don't experiment.
Don't
Experiment.
experiment. 诈欺的实验。Prepare with strong fonts.
Strange.
Strange
Fonts.
fonts. Strange fonts.
With strange fonts.
Strange fonts 是奇怪的点。我感觉没有中文字幕，操你！
Times New Roman and Arial inside.
Time to Roman. Time New Roman.
Times New Roman.
Time New Roman. 靠腰查的冲很小。Time New Roman. 一个格式，一个字体。我跑去查字体。Time New Roman.
Arial.
Arial. 哦，靠腰这是字体。Inside 12 are standards. Standard for normal text.
Text.
Size
Text.
12 are standard for normal text. Many resumes are
Many resumes are nowadays read on screen.
nowadays read on screen. Therefore, with slightly wider letters, Verdana may be a good choice at font size 10.
Good.
A definitive way of writing a resume or CV, curriculum vitae, doesn't exist.
invented.
Resumes must be tailor-made for
Tailor-made. 我靠，要是 MADE。
Resumes must be tailor-made for specific jobs, have a clear layout, and should be informative but concise. Resumes must be tailor-made for specific jobs, have a clear layout, and should be informative but concise.
Informative.
Resumes must be tailor-made for specific jobs, have a clear layout, and should be informative but concise.
Concise. 啊，
Unless it is a technical or academic resume where 4 to 5 pages are acceptable, unless it is a technical or academic resume where 4 to 5 pages are acceptable,
Academic. Academic.
unless it is a technical or academic resume where 4 to 5 pages are acceptable,
这是可接受的。
you should try to fit your details. Don't print on both sides. Use separate sheets.
我靠腰 separate SEPARATE.
Be positive and honest in your descriptions. Be positive and honest in your descriptions. The highest qualification is mentioned first.
Qualification.
Qualification.
The highest qualification is mentioned first.
Mention. MENTION.
Don't experiment with strange fonts. Don't experiment with strange fonts. Don't experiment with strange fonts. Times New Roman and Arial in size 12 are standard for normal text. Times New Roman and Arial in size 12 are standard for normal text. Times New Roman and Arial in size 12 are standard for normal text.
又要读句子了吗
A
？B
definitive way of writing a resume or CV, curriculum vitae, doesn't exist.
Curriculum vitae. Curriculum vitae. Curriculum vitae.
Created.
Definitive.
A definitive way of writing a resume or CV, curriculum vitae, doesn't exist.
Definitive way of writing a resume of CV cumulative doesn't exist. 靠腰嘞。50
Resumes must be tailor-made for
Tailor-made.
specific jobs, have a
Specific
clear layout,
job.
and should be informative but
Inform-
concise.
Resumes must be tailor-made of specific job, have a clear layout, and should be informative about but consist. 靠腰，念错字。Resumes must be tailor-made of specific job, have a clear layout, and should be informative but concise.
Unless it is a technical or academic resume where 4 to 5 pages are acceptable,
Unless it is a technical or 靠腰
Technical.
technical,
Academic.
academic,
Acceptable.
acceptable,
Technical.
technical, or academic,
Academic.
academic,
unless it is a technical or academic resume where
Technical.
4 to 5 pages are acceptable,
unless it is a technical or academic resume where 4 to 5 pages are acceptable. 靠腰
you should try to fit your details on about 2 to 3 pages.
You should try to fit your details on about 2 to 3 pages.
Don't print on both sides. Use separate sheets and put your
Separate
name in the footer.
sheets.
Separate.
Separate sheets. Don't print on both sides. Use separate sheets on and put your name in the footer. Don't print on both sides. Use separate sheets and put on your name in the future. God. Don't print on both sides. Use separate sheets and put your name in the future.
Be positive and honest in your descriptions.
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 Descriptions. Be positive unhonest in your dispositions.
The highest qualification is mentioned first.
In major first. The highest qualification is mentioned first. The highest qualification is mentioned first.
Mentioned. Qualification. Highest.
The highest qualification is mentioned first.
Don't experiment with strange fonts.
Don't experiment with strange fonts.
Times New Roman and Arial in size 12 are standard for normal text.
Times New Roman or Arial in size 12 are standard for normal text.
Therefore, with slightly wider letters, Verdana may be a good choice at font size 10.
Reports with slightly wider letters, Verdana may be a good choice at font size 10.
How to write a resume. Want to get yourself out of a bad situation and into a better one? A solid resume is the first step. You will need, want to get yourself out of a bad situation and into a better one? A solid resume is the first step. You will need a computer and a printer. Step 1. Write your name in bold at the top. Want to get yourself out of a bad situation?
Want to get yourself out of a bad
Situation.
situations and into a better one.
Situation and into a better one? A solid resume.
A solid resume is the first step.
Solid.
Solid. Solid.老沙 Solid.
Is the first step. You will need.
You will need a computer and a
Step 1.
printer.
Write
Step
your
1.
name.
Write your name in
Bold.
头大胆的 in bold at the top of the page.
Bold at the top of the page, followed by your address, phone numbers. Step
把那个头部啊 bold 头
1. Write your name in bold at the top of the page, followed by your address.
followed by your address, phone numbers, and email address.
Phone numbers and email address. Then center the whole thing.
我他妈直播三小读英文呢、
It also helps to make your heading slightly bigger than the rest of your resume, so it stands out at the top of the page. Step 2. List your work.
我看一下有没有比较短的。
Let's watch another scenario where Wayne shows us how.
我不要。
Step 2. List your work history, starting with your most recent position. Include
of,
靠腰嘞
Step 2. List your work history, starting with your
starting,
，starting 最开始是
position, recent, position,
最近的，从最近的职位。both
position,
position
your most recent position. Include the place of
include the
employment.
place
The
of
dates.
the employers.
Include the place of
employment,
这是职位，这我记
the
得。
dates
The that you were employed there and the type of job of performed.
performed,
you were employed there.
你的工作时间、工作类型。
And the type of job you performed. If it's your job title,
If your job titles there are impressive, lead with them in bold.
impressive,
Impressive.
that are impressive, lead with them in bold. If the places you worked are more impressive than what you actually did there, bold them instead. Step 3. Give a brief summary. The most relevant. Step 3. Give a brief summary of what you did at each position. Step 4. Look closely at the description of the job you're applying for and adjust what you've written to emphasize your most relevant skills and
我要
experience.
给它放完吧。
If you're not applying for a specific job, use an objective line to describe what kind of work you're looking for
我只要
and
看完
why
影片
you
就
want
好。
it. Step 5. Leave at least
单词和
3
句
spaces
子
between
下礼
job summations so your resume is
下礼
easy
拜
to
再
read,
读哦。
even if that means shortening some sections. Step 6. When you're done listing former jobs, list your education, including the school you graduated from and the degree you earned there. Step 7. After your education, list any personal information, like hobbies, interests, or skills that pertain to the
这
job
句
you're
下
seeking.
礼拜再读。
But leave out the stupid stuff. If you're applying for a job as a mortician, nobody cares if you can juggle. The most relevant skills to include are proficiency in a foreign language and knowledge of a specific computer application or platform. Step 8. Always offer to make references available upon request at the end of your resume. It's classy, and if you actually have them, it's even better. Step 9. Be sure to spell check your work and ask a friend to look it over before you print it out. Step 10. When your resume is letter perfect, print it out on the special paper of your choice. Did you know, on average, for every 200 resumes reviewed, only one interview is granted?
好，结束了，结束了，这礼拜也结束了，结束串流。